press rather obviously being a pack of silent parrots, implied by not saying anything about what the perverted mind of Paul McCartney has been up to. That the whole explanation is simply settling and adjusting to and on acquiescence to his perverted mind. This way, by not explaining, they explain everything. For example, they explain cooperation with Gail Burston in the Texas School Book by implying that it is better that one person suffer as a symbol of the United States than the word get around that the United Nations and the Center for Disease Control were in on a virological genocide. And since they've done the deal already, pulled the dirty and moved on to other genocide opportunities like Gaza, they figure it's better that way, that the world never knows, never says anything, and that the perpetrators live on, get away, and are free to strike again. And this, thanks to the perverted mind of Paul McCartney, is a form of social security because everybody loves the Beatles. The evidence for why Gail Burston walked free is simple enough to understand. She was working with John Lennon and Yoko Ono. At this late date, nobody will take anything they say to the contrary seriously. So nobody says anything to the contrary or about it at all. They had me in D.C. with Reagan's Netanyahu attorney from the University of Pittsburgh under the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The day Reagan claims he was shot, he waves to me the night before, and they give me a brochure that reads, "No such thing as objective reality, only what the jury believes." There's a whole storyline from Access Hollywood going back to World War I in which the role of Lennon for the Houdini of the operation is firmly established. Europe wants an invisible power hand over all of the world's political systems. It's a fourth dimensional psychology approach to a great dictatorship. And the people who are in control, they get us to fight each other, are themselves aware of the limitations of the countries they are getting to fight so that they can control the damage. It's a damage control syndicate making money from the most brutal of all industries. In Pittsburgh and Seattle, for example, you would think that schools, police, county administrators, friends, and family would try to protect a disabled individual who's not eligible to be drafted. When Joe Biden descends on him as a little boy with a nerve agent for a gigantic pornographic corporation preying on elementary school students, at least one, me, to make secret films of a brutal and depraved nature in the charge of a Zionist named Jeffin, representing Lenin and the entourage responsible before he even said he was dead, 74 through 79, representing his estate after they claimed he was dead. when all the evidence shows a media trick for the purposes, they say, of getting the extreme wings of black power going, that it was justified to raise money for the poor people in Africa. And so, once again, in the perverted mind of Paul McCartney, the rights of a disabled victim of torture are brushed aside, such that because I'm from a distinguished old pilgrim family who was on the same ship as Bush in the Navy, whose father knew Eisenhower and drove a school bus in retirement. After a long career of advocacy for black advancement in higher education. Because of these status symbols, I'm declared null and void by King Crimson. And then, to make it interesting, they throw in John Lennon's Houdini and play pin the tail on the donkey. By a script by a Zionist they all wrote to make a laugh out of the whole thing. And the media is a gang of silent parrots.